Hello everybody, my name is Melanie Lee and I am the Head of Inclusive Learning and Pathways, Pre-Primary to Year 12 at Methodist Ladies College. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the 3 different plans we have at the college to put in place strategies to assist your daughter's learning, and also I'll be talking about who we are as an inclusive learning team, as well as what you can do if you have concerns about your daughter's learning. I'm going to start by explaining who we are as an inclusive learning team. The inclusive learning team is there to support the students, the teachers, and also you as parents with any student who may be having difficulties with their academics, may have a diagnosis, or are also gifted in an academic realm. We have 2 members in the senior years, which is Sally Cheney, who operates years 5 to 8, and Chanel Gomez, who operates in years 9 to 12. Both of these ladies have literacy support classes, which are run instead of a language in years 7, 8 and 9, as well as course support classes which are run in year 8 through to year 12. These classes are put in place to support students of need who may need that extra bit of literacy assistance or may need some assistance with catching up with some coursework and putting in place the strategies that will be in their plans that I'm going to talk about shortly. The next part of my talk is about the different types of plans we have at MLC. There are 3 types of plans that we have that deal with the academic side for your daughters. There is an SSP, which is a strategy support plan, and that is for students who have a diagnosis from an external specialist. There is an individualised education plan, which is for girls who are operating at a level that is 2 years or below their grade level. And there is an examination adjustment plan. The Examination Adjustment Plan, or EAP, is for teachers to see the special provisions that have been agreed upon by yourself and your daughter in timed assessments. So this may be non-working time, it may be extra working time, it may be a scribe or use of laptop. The first plan I would like to go through is a strategy support plan. There are over 250 strategy support plans in the college, and these are for students who have a formal diagnosis from an external specialist. This may be an educational psychologist, a speech therapist, an occupational therapist, or it may even be a paediatrician. The purpose of this plan is to make sure that the teachers and the students know what type of teaching strategies will work for them to make sure that they reach their full potential. The inclusive learning team will work with you and also your daughter, as well as having the report, to work out what strategies we need to communicate to the teachers so that they are able to have access to all their materials as well as demonstrate their learning to the best of their ability. This document will change throughout your daughter's journey at MLC as she hits different types of milestones. So it is important that you and your daughter are constantly communicating with the inclusive learning team so that we will update this if you notice any changes. The next type of report that we have at MLC is called an Individualised Education Plan, or an IEP. An IEP is aimed at students who are unable to access their year level curriculum, and this may be for a variety of different reasons. The IEPs are put in place after extensive student review process involving our college leadership team, and also relevant head of year and inclusive learning team members. As you can see from this slide, the IEP will indicate to you and your daughter what year level your daughter is working on. Your daughters will still remain in class with her peers, however she will be doing different types of assessments and also maybe accessing different levels of the curriculum within the same strand. If your daughter is on an IEP, you will have this communicated to you every semester with a team meeting so that we are able to review the document and map any progress your daughter is making. An IEP is put in place for a minority of students, and also it is constantly reviewed throughout the term to see what the progress level is and if we can move the IEP to become an SSP. The IEP will also contain teaching strategies for the teachers so that your daughter is able to have a voice in the different way that she is learning. If your daughter is having any academic concerns or has a diagnosis, we know that the road may be a little bit more bumpy than it is for other students. This is why it is very important that you have a strong partnership with the college. As an inclusive learning team, we will involve you as the parent, also the student, and also your daughter's teachers in this process continually, so that we are all on the same page and that we are using the same strategies that will assist your daughter in becoming a lifelong learner. Some things that you can assist your daughter with is constant communication. Please communicate with us if your daughter is on a plan and you feel that that plan is not working. It is important that we make sure that that plan is of benefit for your daughter. It's also important that your daughter is organised, so helping and preparing her every morning so that she knows before she gets up in the morning what she needs to do for the next day. We have a fortnightly timetable, so sometimes some students get confused as to what week this can be. If your daughter is having difficulties with her organisation, the Inclusive Learning team runs sessions in academic coaching. So please contact me and we can assist your daughter in accessing those systems. The other thing, as I mentioned before, is it will be a rocky road. So it's very important that we work together on your daughter's growth mindset. That is showing her the positives that are coming out of her schooling instead of always having that focus on the negatives, celebrating all those small wins. As an inclusive learning team, we will be constantly talking to your daughters about those little wins and those progresses that are happening for her so that she isn't just comparing herself to her peers. The other thing that's very important is connecting that learning to her life. There's a lot of times that you will hear from your daughters that this doesn't mean anything for me, or when will I need this information? So if your daughter is not seeing that connection within a class to a future pathway or to things that she needs to do, that is what we start to do with the girls from year 9 onwards. We start pathway conversations so that they are able to understand what they're learning, and all that hard work they're putting into will assist them post MLC. And the other thing that's really important is reflection. And as I said before, celebrating those small wins and working out what is working. So instead of focusing on what is not working, letting us know in class what is actually working for your daughter so that we are able to communicate that to all her teachers. We regularly meet with a lot of your daughter's teachers and we communicate things that are actually working for one subject that the other teachers may be able to put in place. Now, my last slide is some of the frequently asked questions that I get from parents. So hopefully I answer all of your questions. The first one is, will the teachers see the plan? So within our system of sector, your daughter will have a little icon which is green in colour, and when the teachers click on this green dot, it will bring up your daughter's plan. All teachers check these plans regularly, and if there are any updates, we will let them know and send that plan through to them. It's also very important that we build a communication channel between your daughter and her teacher, because there may be some things that are not in the plan that she knows can be implemented in a specific class that will assist her with that learning. If your daughter is having problems with that communication, the IL team work very closely with her to give her the confidence to self-advocate what is working for her in that class. And this is a good skill for your daughter to have, especially post-MLC. Another frequently asked question at the moment is, if I can't get an appointment to get a diagnosis with a specialist, what can be put in place in the meantime? We're well aware that at the moment there is a 2-year waiting list for some of our specialists, so we will put in place a temporary strategy support plan or an education alert so that the teachers are aware of any learning difficulties that are happening with your daughter. So at the moment, there may not need to be an actual diagnosis for your daughter before we act on putting a plan in place. But if you are in the process or have an appointment with a specialist, please contact me so that we can put this in place. What do you do if you have concerns with your daughter's learning? The first point of call is to go direct to your daughter's teacher. Your daughter's teacher spends 8 periods a cycle with your daughter and will know her best. If it is not a specific subject difficulty and you are seeing something across the board, or your daughter is coming home to you over an extended period of time, articulating to you that she may be having problems understanding what she's reading, she's not able to get through the amount of work, she may have problems with her handwriting, please contact me. We will then do a student review of your daughter, gather information, and then we'll be able to report back to you in a meeting if this is actually something that is being noticed in the classroom across all of her teachers. How can I help my daughter at home? It's very difficult if your daughter is struggling at school, because she will come home and she may not be as happy as you would like her to be. The biggest thing again is to communicate. Communicate to her teachers, communicate to her head of year, or contact myself. If there is a strategy support plan in place, within that strategy support plan will also be strategies that your daughter can use. So it's very important that you are reinforcing those strategies with your daughter. It may be that she is using technology such as immersive readers, and immersive readers are like text to speech, but they will also break down predictive text as well. It's also important that you can assist your daughter with pre-learning. That means hopping on Sector and having a look at the different types of topics that are coming up for your daughter and getting her interested in those topics before she goes into the classroom. The other thing is teachers will be using vocabulary lists, and they're very important because a lot of our students who struggle, it is the vocabulary that tricks them up at certain points. So even if it is putting it into a Quizlet, even if it is you using it as a Kahoot, by reinforcing to your daughter to understand that vocabulary is very important as well. The other thing is, if you do notice something and she is struggling when she comes home, please let us know so that we are able to put things in place, and there may be something else that's going on. Where can my daughter go at school to get extra assistance? So if your daughter is in one of our literacy support classes or our course support classes, she will have a teacher who is managing her, but there are also other areas that she can access. In Year 7 and 8, there are targeted academic coaching sessions every week. And it is important that your daughter attends those sessions. Even if she doesn't have any homework, we're trying to get the girls in the habit of study versus homework. So she can use that session to refine her writing skills, to start reading a book before it starts to come up in class. Again, it is that pre-learning so that before she goes into class, she has an awareness of what is being taught. So please refer to our academic coaching roster for access to those. So in conclusion, the college has 3 plans that are in place for your daughter. The first plan is an SSP, and we put those in place for students who have a diagnosis from an external specialist. An IEP, which is for students who are accessing curriculum 2 years or below their grade level, and also an EAP, the Examination Action Plan, which lets the teachers know on a click of the button what the special provisions are for your daughter with any timed assessments. There is also, as I mentioned before, an education alert, and that education alert may go through to all of your daughter's teachers if something unexpected comes up, if she's had a prolonged illness, and we need to make sure that strategies are temporarily put in place. So please remember to communicate with your daughter's teachers and also to let us know as an IL team if you have any concerns about your daughter's learning. Thank you for your time.